Okay, so let's dive in. We've got this, there's this detailed checklist here on using Google business profiles to really boost local visibility. Our mission today is to pull out the absolute highest impact strategies, the things you can do right away to, get ahead of the competition.
Exactly. And what's so interesting is that a Google business profile, or GBP, is basically a shortcut to winning locally. But, and this is the key, that shortcut only works if you treat the initial setup like a blueprint, not just a bunch of optional boxes to tick.
Right. So let's start right there at the very beginning. Before you could even get traffic or calls, what's the absolute price of admission?
The biggest barrier, hands down, is verification. You have to get that done.
Right.
Without it, you're locked out of almost everything.
Okay, so verification is step one, the gatekeeper.
It is. And once that gate is open, you have to nail the core information, your exact name, address, and phone the NAP. And crucially, your business hours. I mean, the detailed special schedules for holidays, too. If Google can't trust your hours, customers won't either.
And that brings up categories. I feel like this is a place where a lot of businesses get it wrong. They go way too broad just to cover all their bases.
It's a classic strategic mistake. The thing to understand is that Google weighs your first category something like 5 times more than the others.
5 times, wow.
Yeah. So if you're a specialty coffee roaster, but you pick the broad cafe category first, you've already lost a huge advantage. You have to pick the single most specific primary category first, then layer on the others. Specificity is really what drives discovery.
Okay, so verification, NAP, and super specific categories. That's the foundational data.
Mm-hmm.
But how do we turn that, that boring data into something that makes a customer actually want to click? What's the most common mistake people are making in that business description section?
They turn it into a sales pitch, a total ad. And the hidden secret here is that Google actually, it sort of penalizes profiles that sound too promotional. You need to keep it concise, maybe 150 to 300 words, and focus on using your keywords naturally by describing the customer's problem that you solve, not just listing features.
It really sounds like this isn't a one-time setup. A profile needs constant attention, doesn't it? What's the minimum frequency to stay relevant?
Consistency is everything for organic reach. You need regular updates. I'm talking about crafting engaging posts at least weekly.
At least weekly. Okay.
Yep. Share offers, events, news, and always use strong visuals and a clear call to action. If you post something and they don't know what to do next, you've just wasted your time.
That makes sense. Now, on reviews, they're obviously key, but what about strategy? I see a lot of businesses that only seem to respond to the 5-star reviews. What's the thinking on that?
That's leaving a golden opportunity on the table. Negative reviews are actually a gift.
A gift? How so?
Because when you monitor and respond promptly and professionally to everything, you're showing future customers that you care. Seeing a business handle criticism well is a massive trust signal. It can pay off more than 10 positive reviews.
That's a great reframe.
Yeah.
So once the foundation is solid and the weekly engagement is happening, what are the advanced moves, the next level?
Then you pivot to analysis first. You have to be tracking performance. You need to regularly look at your search performance, customer actions, all that engagement data to understand why people are clicking. Then you adjust.
And what about mobile? That feels more critical than ever.
Mobile isn't optional anymore. It's basically the primary ranking factor for local. And specifically, make sure your photos are compressed. If they're not under 100 KB, your load time is already hurting your rank. Everything has to be readable on a small screen.
Okay, and one last thing for that strategic edge. How do you properly do a competitor comparison?
You're hunting for patterns. Look at what your competitors are doing. How often do they post? What's their review strategy? And most importantly, what keywords are they ranking for that you aren't? That lets you adapt and find your openings.
So the big insight here isn't just about setting it up. It's about getting those very specific technical details right from the start and then committing to that consistent weekly engagement.
Exactly. And that actually brings up a final thought for everyone listening. Since the strategy includes regularly review and revise, you have to ask yourself, if this is all driven by data and engagement, how often are you scheduling a complete top-to-bottom review of your entire profile strategy? Because that constant evaluation is the only thing that will keep you from going stale.